The following is the English broadcast of Voice of Korea, recorded over shortwave radio from Augusta, the capital of the state of Maine, in United States of America. The following was recorded on Tuesday, March 11, 2014, at 3 p.m. EST, on the frequency 11635 kHz.
This is Voice of Korea.
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 Now we begin the English language transmission from Pyongyang, the capital of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
Here is the mixed chorus, sung of General Kim Il-sung. chorus, song of General Kim Seung-il. Respected Kim Jong-un, First Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea, First Chairman of the National Defense Commission of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army, enjoyed the performance of the artist force of Units 567, 324, and 233 of the Korean People's Army, selected at the first contest of the artist force of the Korean People's Army. Seeing the performance together with him were Chair Yong-hye and the senior officials of the party and army and service personnel of the People's Army. The moment respected Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un came out to the auditorium of the theater. All the audience enthusiastically welcomed him, raising cheers of hurrah. Put on the stage were various items of different genres, including chorus, Strength of Korea, poem recitation, Till Mount Daedo, the famous mountain of Sungun, female quartet, Supreme Commander Dear Trust, female chorus, Party Flag, Together With You Forever, female solo and organ players chorus, Paean to the Motherland, and chorus, We Know Nobody But You. After the performance was over, Kim Jong-un acknowledged the stormy cheers of the performers and audience. He highly appreciated that the performance is a performance fully representing the party policy, a performance filled with the idea of the party, a well-organized performance without shortcoming, and a powerful and emphatic performance showing the characteristics and faces of the unit. Except the creators and artists of the artist chorus found themselves deep among the service personnel and created works dealing with burning patriotism and ardent desire for great feats filled in their hearts, as intended by the party, and repeatedly praised the revolutionary manner of creation of creators and artists, the creators of the new culture in the Sungun era. Respected Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un proposed estimating the performance of the art schools of those units as special grade, which powerfully demonstrated the ideological and mental traits of the heroic Korean People's Army at the first contest of the art schools of the Korean People's Army. And he gave special thanks of the Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army to the traders and artists and had a photo session with them. Very important are the activities of the art schools with great influence, high appeal and mobility in the ideological education for service personnel, he said, and put forward important tasks which would serve as a guideline in their performance activities. The Central Election Committee made public a report on the 11th on the result of the election of deputies to the 13th Supreme People's Assembly of the DPRK. The report said, the election of deputies to the 13th Supreme People's Assembly of the DPRK was held strictly according to the rules on the elections of deputies to the People's Assemblies at all levels of the DPRK. According to the result of the election available, 99.97% of the entire electorate registered in the list of voters across the country took part in the election, and all of them voted for the candidates for deputies to the Supreme People's Assembly registered at the relevant constituencies. The voters who are abroad on business or working on the far-off sea could not participate in the election. Through the recent election, all the electorate powerfully demonstrated the strong spirit of great Kim Il-sung Kim Jong-il Korea, which is glorifying the history of victory of the powerful Pakistan nation generation after generation, overcoming all kinds of challenges and difficulties with the might of a single-minded unity, which binds the poor and the popular masses, the leader and the service personnel and people with one idea and will, and with one kindred feeling. They also clearly showed once again their unbreakable aspirations and will to devotedly work with noble awareness and ardent patriotic zeal of the citizens of the DPRK and proudly build their socialist country into the most powerful country in the world, into a people's paradise. The Central Election Committee considered the reports on the result of the election presented by the election committees of the constituencies for the election of deputies to the 13th Supreme People's Assembly of the DPRK across the country and made public 686 elected deputies to the Supreme People's Assembly. The Italy DPRK Friendship and Solidarity Association recently posted on its website the historic speech, "Let us hasten the final victory through a revolutionary ideological offensive," made by respected Kim Jong-un at the 8th Conference of Ideological Workers of the Workers' Party of Korea. The website posted its photograph. DPRK photo, book and fine art exhibition took place in Beijing of China between March the 6th and the 9th. Hung on the front wall of the exhibition hall were smiling portraits of the great Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il and flags of the DPRK and China. Displayed at the exhibition hall were photographs on the immortal exploits of the great Kim Jong-il and respected Kim Jong-un. Also on display were famous works of the great generalismos Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il and respected Marshal Kim Jong-un, photos and books introducing Sungun Korea, and fine art pieces showing the distinguished talents of the Korean people. Present at the opening ceremony of the exhibition were personages of different sections of China, the delegation of the General Bureau for External Exhibition of the DPRK, and Korean embassy staff members in China. A national memorial service was held at the Central Youth Hall in Pyongyang on Monday on the occasion of the 30th anniversary of the death of the revolutionary martyr Kim Il. Present at the service were Kim Ji-nam, member of the Political Bureau and Secretary of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea, and other senior officials of the party and state, Vice Premier, the Chairman of the Central Committee of the Korean Social Democratic Party, officials of the party, armed forces and government institutions, public organizations, ministries and national agencies, service personnel of the Korean People's Army and the Korean People's Internal Security Forces, meritorious persons, bereaved family members and working people in Pyongyang. In his memorial speech, Secretary Kim Ji-nam said the life of Kim Il was a brilliant life of a revolutionary soldier who devoted his all to the victory of the socialist cause in support of the leader who pioneered the revolutionary cause and is a successor generation after generation. He called upon all the party members, service personnel of the People's Army and people to actively learn after the absolute loyalty of the revolutionary forerunners to the party and the leader, and thus truly respected Kim Jong-un in high respect with a revolutionary faith and obligation, and become the first person called to defend the supreme headquarters of revolution at the cost of their lives. Wreaths were laid before the bust of the revolutionary martyr Kim Il at the Revolutionary Martyrs Cemetery on Mount Dasan on the 10th on the occasion of the 30th anniversary of its demise. Soon before the bust was a wreath sent by respected Kim Jong-un, first Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea, first Chairman of the National Defense Commission of the DPRK, and Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army. Attending the wreath-laying ceremony were Kim Ji-nam, Vice Premier, officials of the party, armed forces and government organs, commissions and national institutions, service personnel of the Korean People's Army, bereaved family members and working people in Pyongyang. Amid the playing of the wreath-laying music, wreaths were placed before the bust in the name of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea and the Presidium of the Supreme People's Assembly and the Cabinet of the DPRK. Wreaths were also laid in the name of the Ministry of the People's Armed Forces. equal society. Members of the South Korean Confederation of Trade Unions held a meeting before the Boston Pavilion. The National Women's Solidarity held a rally in the plaza of the Seoul railway station and protested against the affirmative discrimination against women. The Chinese Liaoning Korean language newspaper carried an article on the 5th under the title, "Modern Agrarian Reform Solves Age-Old Desire of Farmers." The article praised the effort of great President Kim Il-sung, who realized the centuries-old desire of farmers by solving the agrarian problem in the struggle for the building of a new country operation at South Korea. We now present a male chorus, "We know nobody but you." Enjoying orchestral music, let's defend our Supreme Commander with arms. the song Whoever Taught Me, created in 1975 or 1986. Now you will enjoy your female soloist function, My Way. Now you will enjoy your female solo, What is Life? radio and small orchestral music. I'll remain your son forever. military hostilities advance. The People's Action Against War and for Peace, consisting of several civic and public organizations of South Korea, held a meeting in Seoul some time ago and made public a statement which fully exposed the aggressive character of the key resolve and full eager joint military exercises and demanded the United States and the South Korean authorities put an end to all political and military actions against the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. It shows that the military hostilities in South Korea are denounced and rejected as an obstacle to the improvement of the inter-Korean relations. Military hostilities are traitorous acts based on extreme enmity and sense of confrontation against a fellow countryman. One nation in the Korean peninsula has been artificially divided into the North and the South by outsiders. The military hostilities are based on the wrong idea of confrontation, which regards the fellow countryman with the same blood not as a companion. They should go hand in hand in the struggle for shaping the destiny of the nation, but as an enemy who should be a target of jealousy, rejection, and destruction. So they foment misunderstanding and distrust between fellow countrymen, enable them not to trust and reconcile with each other, and after all, aggravate tension. Without removing the military hostilities, it is impossible to expect genuine improvement of the inter-Korean relations. That is why the National Defense Commission of the DPRK, in its crucial proposal and open letter, called for putting a total end to the military hostilities, giving rise to distrust and confrontation, and made a bold decision to take practical measures for it. It represents a steadfast will of the DPRK to improve the deteriorated inter-Korean relations and achieve independent reunification, peace, and prosperity with the concerted efforts of the nation. Despite the proposal of the DPRK and the unanimous opposition of the whole fellow countrymen, the United States and the South Korean bellicose forces have been frantically conducting the key resolve and full eagle joint military exercises since February 25th last. Under such a situation, they brought the nuclear submarine Columbus and the flagship Blue Ridge of the U.S. 7th Fleet to South Korea to participate in the joint military exercises. While staging such dangerous North-targeted war exercises, the United States and the South Korean bellicose forces are talking about so-called confidence and dialogue. It is a mockery and deception of the public at home and abroad, demanding an end to the war exercises and the normalization of the inter-Korean relations. The U.S. aim is to arrest the trend to the improvement of the inter-Korean relations and detente, and worsen the tension of the Korean peninsula and the region. The United States and the South Korean bellicose forces should put an immediate end to military hostilities, such as the key resolve and full eagle joint military exercises, which exert a negative influence on the improvement of inter-Korean relations and hinder reconciliation and unity. That was an account entitled, Stop Military Hostilities at Once. This is Voice of Korea. Dear listeners, with this we conclude the English language service of Voice of Korea from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Voice of Korea presents its English language service for Southeast Asia between 5 and 6 hours UTC on 13,650 kHz and 15,105 kHz, and between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 6,185 kHz and 9,850 kHz. For Middle East and Northern Africa, between 16 and 17 hours UTC on 9,890 kHz and 11,645 kHz, and between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 9,875 kHz and 11,635 kHz. For Southern Africa, between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 7,210 kHz and 11,910 kHz. And for Central and South America, between 4 and 5 hours UTC on 11,735 kHz 13,760 kHz and 15,180 kHz, and between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 6,170 kHz and 9,435 kHz. Goodbye, this is Pyongyang.
The following was recorded on Tuesday, March 11, 2014 at 3 p.m. EST on the frequency 11635 kHz.